You should never take the last train out of Brambleton. People say it runs even when no conductor is scheduled, even when the station is empty. But last night I missed my usual ride, and the unscheduled train rolled in, screeching like metal being torn apart. The cars inside were packed, shoulder to shoulder, but every single person was frozen in place, standing perfectly still, eyes open, staring ahead, like mannequins wearing human skin. I tried stepping back, but the doors slammed behind me and the train lurched forward before I could escape. I called out, "Hello? Does anyone?" Every head in the car snapped toward me at the same time. Their mouths opened, but no sound came out. Just this soft, rattling inhale, like they were trying to breathe for the first time in years. The lights flickered, the windows blacked out, and the train picked up speed way too fast. Then the PA system crackled on, and a distorted voice whispered, "You are the only living passenger on board." "Do not move," I froze. Something began crawling along the ceiling. Slow, heavy. A shadow with too many limbs. It stopped directly above me. The doors at the end of the car burst open, and a shrill alarm screamed through the train. The still passengers all lifted their arms toward me. I spun around, and the thing from the ceiling was hanging inches from my face. Its head was a blur, like it didn't fit correctly on its body. It sniffed me, then let out a wet, clicking laugh. "Living," it hissed. The train shot into a tunnel so dark the windows turned into mirrors. In the reflection, the passengers weren't still anymore. They were moving, twitching, stepping closer, their faces warped like melting wax. I bolted through the nearest door into the next car. Car 748. Car 9. Each one filled with motionless people, waiting, like they were on display. Finally, I reached car 13, the only empty one. The lights here glowed red. There was a single seat in the center, labeled with my name. Before I could react, the train slammed to a stop. The PA hissed, "All passengers prepare for transfer." Footsteps began echoing from every car behind me, hundreds of them getting closer. The thing from the ceiling crawled through the doorway, towering over me, smiling with a mouth that split too wide. "You missed your train yesterday," it croaked. "Seat must be filled." Hands, cold, stiff hands, grabbed my arms and legs from every direction as the passengers finally moved. They dragged me toward the seat, forcing me down. The creature leaned close and whispered, "Now, you ride forever." The last thing I saw before everything went black was my reflection in the window. Already frozen, already hollow, already part of them.
It happened right in the middle of math. The hallway outside was empty. Everyone was in class when this slow, heavy knocking echoed through the floor, the kind that makes your stomach drop. Our teacher froze. Everyone went silent. Then we heard it again. Bang, bang, bang. Coming from room 213, a room the school boarded up years ago after the incident. No one talks about what happened. No one even goes near that door. But today, the knocking didn't stop. A girl in the back whispered, "Someone's in there." Our teacher stepped into the hall to check, but the moment he crossed the doorway, the lights in our classroom flickered violently. The air turned freezing. Every desk vibrated like something was walking under the floor. Then the noise changed. The knocking became scratching. Someone was clawing at the boarded up door. With splintered dot the door hinges creaked. And then we heard it, a voice. "Let me out, they forgot about me." Everyone in class backed up against the wall. One kid swore he saw fingers pushing through the boards. The scratching got louder, more desperate. Then my phone buzzed with a notification from an unknown number. It said, "Don't let him open the door. He's not what he says he is." Before I could react, our teacher yelled from the hallway, "The door is coming open." We watched as the board split and something started pushing through. A whole crowd of us screamed, and this dude just blinked at us like we were the nightmare. He brushed sawdust off his shirt and said, "Relax, I just got stuck on my lunch break." Again, we all stared in disbelief. Our teacher stared. Even the custodians came running. But then, right as everyone started laughing in relief, the substitute's smile twitched. And he whispered under his breath, "But I wasn't alone in there." The lights snapped off. Every door in the hallway slammed shut at once. A deep, wet breathing filled the darkness. Students scrambled, phones shaking, flashes blinding. The sub backed into the wall, sandwich dropping to the floor. Something moved in room 213. Not him. Something bigger. The boards on the inside started cracking again from something trying to get out after him. We ran, but the hall felt endless, stretching farther than it should. Lockers rattled, ceiling tiles fell. A shape followed us, long fingers dragging across the floor like it was tasting it. We almost made it to the main stairwell when the PA system crackled alive. A voice, distorted, gurgling, said, "He opened the door. Now you're all staying after forever." A hand, grey, impossibly long, reached from the darkness and grabbed the substitute by the collar, yanking him back with impossible strength. He screamed, "This is why I ate lunch in there." And then he was gone. The hallway went silent. The breathing stopped. Every door unlocked at once. By the time teachers arrived, room 213 was sealed again, like it had never been touched. But the next morning, taped to the door, was a note written in shaky handwriting. "Still stuck. Bring snacks." The Central Line train screeched to a stop between stations. Lights flickered, and suddenly every seat was empty. Moments ago it was packed. I stood up, whispering hello. My voice echoed. The underground never echoes. Then the intercom came on. A voice whispered, shaky and wet, "Stay in the carriage. It's in the tunnels." Something scraped along the outside of the train. Slow. Heavy. I peeked toward the window. Something pale pressed against the glass, but the lights cut out before I saw its face. My phone buzzed with an unknown message. "If the doors open, don't move." The train lights snapped back on. The far doors slowly hissed open, even though we weren't at a station. A long, thin arm slid through the gap, feeling along the seats, reaching for me. The creature leaned into the carriage. Too tall. Too many joints. Its head stayed hidden in the shadows above the door. The intercom crackled again. "Don't let it see your eyes." I slipped through the opposite door and hit the tunnel floor running. Behind me, the creature let out a breathy, broken whistle that made the whole tunnel vibrate. My phone buzzed. "Run toward the red lights." I spotted a faint emergency exit glow and sprinted. A maintenance corridor waited ahead, narrow, lined with old cracked mirrors. In every reflection, the creature stood closer behind me. Closer, closer. I forced myself not to look back. At the end of the corridor, a rusted ladder went up. I climbed as something grabbed at my shoes, its nails dragging across metal. I burst through a hatch, onto an abandoned platform with peeling tiles and no station name. When I turned to shut the hatch, there was only solid wall. My phone buzzed one final time. "You escaped, but it knows you're sent now." Somewhere in the dark part of the platform, something started dragging itself closer.